Good day, Ngwe. I hope you are well. Look, you want me to comment on these corruption things that are happening in Zimbabwe, and also talk about what the Zimbabwean people should do now as a way forward. What can they do? And also about the Gaza revolution. Okay, that's fine. Let me start by saying that corruption in Zimbabwe has become a cancerous, systematic, well-coordinated process led by ZANU-PF elites who are in government. It's very unfortunate that those whom we thought will lead us into a prosperous and successful economy or successful, happy country, they've turned our country into a pariah state. They've turned our country into a shameful nation. They've turned our country into a situation whereby no one would love to identify with it. There are very few people who remain patriotic like myself. Many people have abandoned patriotism because of this corrupt, rotten system that is within the state, right from the bureaucracy to the state institutions to all other places we can think of. So when you think of, when you hear people like Wicknell Chivayo, who played a part in the corruption deal where about 1.1 or something billion have left RBZ into South African coffers, into South African accounts, I mean, where ZEG purported to be doing business. It comes as, it's no longer a surprise. It's a normal thing to ZANU-PF government, because they've been involved in more dubious, illicit financial flows, which were more threatening than this one. So when we hear that about out of that amount of 1 point something billion, about 800,000 just got used in a manner which is very unusual in a stable country, in a normal country, we are not surprised. Of course, I hear that the financial sector intelligence of South Africa are on it, investigating and trying to find out how best they can deal with this situation, because it leaves a negative outlook on the country, on South African country as a government and the whole economy. You would understand that this amount to money laundering in the international forum, in the international world, they will be accused of money laundering, and it would sound like they are not yet off the hook from being grey listed. As you know, that grey listing has been threatening South Africa from time and again. But in Zimbabwe, it's normal. It's very normal. Just to think of the words expressed by one of our sons of the soil, Tendai Biti, to say that in Zimbabwe there is this zvigananda, bishops of the bishop of corruption, and these people, they have lived a life which is no longer normal. And well, that's corruption for you. And if you look at what is happening in Zimbabwe, corruption was normalized, it's been sanitized, and most of the young people in our country, they are also growing up in the system of corruption, the system which only the fittest can survive, in the system which is modeled in the book of Animal Farm, where you can say other people, wish other people to do certain things which you do not want to do, which you yourself always exclude yourself because you're a leader. And that's a very unfortunate part, where young people everywhere. Our country was free of drugs, when we were growing as teenagers in the late 80s and 90s. We knew at least we had respect of those things. Those things were foreign to us. But unfortunately, these days, every streets in the cities, here in the ghettos, drugs are a normal thing. It's unfortunate that the people who are doing corruption are the people in government, who are named by our newspapers, by medias, are people who are in government, are big people who are said to be trading with drugs. Imagine if the state president is doing so. I'm not saying, I don't know, but this is what is being peddled out in the media, that the state president is involved in his children in drug trafficking in the country, in drug trading, I mean. I put a disclaimer, but that's what is being said. And Zimbabwe is also involved, and many people, and they always say there's no smoke without fire. So corruption is rampant, corruption is everywhere, and it has been there since the early days of our democracy in the 80s, from the Willowville scandal to current Wicknell scandals. There was a time when 15 billion got lost. Now that's a lot of money. You could understand that 15 billion would constitute our GDP, and by then it was even today it's a lot of money. And not only that, sometimes I read somewhere where a plane, the whole plane got lost. There are so many strangers, but at the same time you got the elite who are enjoying the fruits of the economy of that country. They have private jets, they splash money, they drive big cars, they live in mansion, palatial houses, while the majority are suffering and languishing out there because of corruption. So corruption is a very serious crime against humanity in our country. And anyone who will lead that country must make sure that he deals with corruption I just pray that those who are involved in corruption can also build nice jails, because it will not end well. One day, our people will rise up spontaneously, will rise up, and there will be no one to control them. There will be no one to tell them to go in the streets. They will go to the streets. That's some of the aspects of a revolution. All progressive forces should come together now and think critically about how best can we rescue our country from these economic doldrums, from these oppressive daily things that we see in our country. Look at the government, look at our systems. All the systems are not normal. There is nothing normal in our country at the moment. The judicial system itself is sick. It's not healthy at all, because they are not independent. There's a lot of evidence that proves that the judiciary is not independent. The executive is running the shows in every way. In parliament, they control, they manipulate. They manipulate all the public state institutions. They do whatever they want. The ZAC is not working. Nothing is functioning at the moment. So regarding the Gaza revolution, I wish I could talk more about it, but let me talk about the Gaza revolution in the next few minutes or so.